There are certain things we need to be aware of. One, the calculations are made using projections or forecasts of inputs. What are those inputs? How much it's going to cost us to put this in place? Sales, production costs, depreciation, and so on and so forth. It's probably not that much of an issue in terms of capital spending. I mean, at the time you decide on a project, it's typically rather easy to get precise estimates of how much it's going to cost you to put this project in place. You need land, you need to build factory, you need to buy machinery. We know the values of those, but things like sales are subject to a lot of forecasting error. Yes, you're going to do some sort of marketing survey based on you're going to get an idea about what sort of demand is out there, what sort of price you can get away with. If you can get away with, you can charge as high price as possible. A rather recent development at EKU kind of can make the point. I told you guys the other day that they were contemplating a change in the tuition policy. In fact, now it's official that they're going to vote for it in the next Board of Regents meeting. Right now, if you took up to 18 hours, you pay exactly the same tuition as if you took 12 hours, which is the official full time. After 18, you pay by the hour. We kind of have that in place. Technically, with 120 hours, you can graduate in 4 years by taking 15 hours every semester. But a lot of our students do double majors or minors. I had students who did triple majors, and there's a good reason for that. Remember, you're not coming out of Harvard, so you got to distinguish yourself. A lot of times, doing double majors is one way of making yourself more marketable or building flexibilities for yourself. It's my hobby to tell the general business students that by itself, general business is not going to be very useful to you unless you have your daddy or mommy or it as a business and you're going to take that over. But other than that, as an employer, they're not going to care about it. Well, you're someone who doesn't want to specialize in anything, but you want to get a good job. What are you going to do? You're going to add maybe a second major, a minor, certificate, or do something like that. That means it's going to increase your time to graduate. So you may have to take more than 18. Now, when you do this, this is going to increase your time to graduate, or you're going to pay more, right? Either way, you're going to pay more, but whether or not you do that in a given semester, it's a different thing. I was last Monday at the Faculty Senate meeting as an alternate, and they claim that this is going to increase our tuition revenue by over $800,000. If I had any confidence whatsoever in the forecasting or projection ability of people who does these sort of things, I would have said, okay. Do you know how they do these things? They look at the pattern of students who are taking 18, and they're assuming that pattern is going to continue exactly the same as it is. The trouble is, it's called economics 001. It's not even 101. When you increase the price of something, demand for that is going to go down. So this is going to result in either of two things or both. Either those students are going to reduce to 15 hours because they don't want to pay extra, or they're going to eliminate the reason why they have to take 18 hours. Things like double majors and stuff, which means our students are going to be less employable and get the money from somewhere else. But you cannot talk to these people because they don't listen to you. And the biggest example was years ago. This was, let me see, 2016, I think. Uh, as EKU employees, our dependents can go to EKU for free, okay? Up to 12 hours. If you have two kids that are going at the same time, you pay the extra, but they can. And this was during the Bevin administration, and there were a lot of cuts. And as one of the methods to deal with it, they figured they could raise about $500,000 a year by reducing that free tuition to 9 hours. So if my kid took 15 hours, I would have had to pay 6 hours more. And I, our president at the time was new, and I got up in the faculty senate and said, if you pass this policy and make more than $50,000 on it, I'm gonna climb the balloon statue naked. Nobody ever wants to see that. I mean, that wasn't the reason why they didn't pass the policy, because they basically assumed, okay, here's this number of faculty or staff that are doing this. These guys are going to keep taking 12 hours or more, so we're going to charge them. In this case, it's even more stark. I have a product that I'm buying right now that is priced as free, zero. When you increase the price of that to positive, I'm going to reduce the demand for it. And I basically generated a guerrilla survey, made sure that it went to everybody on campus, and said, this is a policy that is being considered. If this happens, how many hours your dependents are going to take? About 90% said 9, and about 5% said 0. I said, I would rather send my kid to UK and pay money instead of doing this. Only one or two people said I would take the same because I'm about to graduate, yada, yada, yada. And my indecent proposal to the president was made on a Monday. I made this survey while I was having my coffee in Dunkin' Donuts on a Friday morning. I mean, to be honest, I was dating a lady from EKU whose kid was benefiting from this, and she was going to graduate 1 year later because of this. So, for romantic reasons, I kind of did this. By 4 o'clock Friday, I got an email from the president say, okay, I get your point, because people told them what was going on, and I gave access to people on the survey results live, and they rescinded the proposal. This is rather a stark example, but do not have too much confidence on the forecasting ability of people who have a vested interest in the project. And this is not out of being fraudulent. I come up with a project. I think this is good for the firm. It's my baby. If this project goes on, it's going to increase my status in the firm, right? So whenever I do these projections, without even having any bad intentions, I am being optimistic. Okay. Even without that, these are statistical estimates. Okay. And with statistical estimate, there's always a margin of error. So that's the so-called forecasting risk. We actually deal with that a lot better in upper level finance courses, but come on, this is my other pen suddenly decided there's a reason I have two of these things. Okay, it's not a pen issue, it's a Microsoft issue. I mean, if Apple came up with OneNote, trust me, none of these things would have happened. That means I kind of need to look at uh, certain things. Another issue is there are certain options management has access to